I know a lot of you are here to improve your walking bass groove. I have got a very simple device that will elevate your game instantly. Let's do this. Friends and neighbors, welcome back to the Brownstone. This is a follow-up to a video I did just a couple of days ago where I showed you some patterns that revolve around the area of the neck between the 5th and the 9th fret. Today, I'm just going to show you one simple pattern that will really elevate your walking bass line. And I've talked about this pattern in previous videos, and I've stressed how important it is for you to know this pattern. And I've said this before, and I'll say it again. If I play a C major triad, it's a very simple pattern that everyone knows. But we should be as familiar with the formation and the shapes being created by the inversions of these triads. What do I mean by that? I mean, when I play the root to the 3rd to the 5th, that's the root position of the triad. But if I play from the 3rd and go up to the 5th and then go up to the root, there's a certain shape that's being created by that. Now, when I take that shape down to this area of the neck that we discussed in the last video, I get a very particular and a very simple shape. Here's my C at the 8th fret of the E string. Here's my 3rd, there's my 5th, and then I go up to the root here. Now, if I were to use my 4-fret span, it's a really simple pattern that just goes 3, 1, 1. Those are the fingers that I'm using to play this particular device. I'm going to call this device the connector. By giving this little pattern a name, I am showing you a way to identify it so that it gets locked in the muscle memory and into the brain a little bit easier. This is the device, 311, the connector. So just like in the last video, I'm taking a 12-bar blues in the key of C. Now, if I just use the device, the connector, the first chord is just going to be that. Now, if I'm just using this pattern, I will play through the progression and I'll show you, I'll talk you through this as I play through. So I start by playing the device, the connector, and then I go straight to my F minor triad. And then I go back to the connector 2 times. And then the F major triad 2 times. Back to the connector. Now to the 5 chord, I'm going to play the connector starting from the E string at the 7th fret of the E. And then my 4 chord, the F major, and then I go back to the connector starting from the 7th fret of the A string. So you can hear how using the connector really connects the harmony in a really beautiful way. Now, if I were just to consider the first notes of each of those chords, the first notes that we're using, then these are my targets. I've got the 7th fret of the A string to the root of the 4 chord at the 8th fret of the A string. And then the only other target is going to be at the 7th fret of the E string. So here's where things get interesting. In the first video that I did about walking bass lines, I talked about the idea of approaching our target notes from either a semitone or a whole tone above or below. We can apply that same logic to this pattern because the connectors in this particular case can still be considered target notes. So we can approach those connectors from a semitone above or a whole tone above or below. Now, if I consider that, we can go through this slowly and then consider our options. The first pattern on our one chord is a connector. Now, the note that we have to approach is going to be the root of the 4 chord, in this case, the F at the 8th fret of the E string. So how do we do that? We can either approach from a semitone below or a semitone above. Now it sounds like we're playing walking bass. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to play through this progression one more time, and this time I'm going to approach my 3 targets from either a semitone above or below. Now remember, the 3 targets are the first note that we play from each of our triads or inversions. I have 2 connectors and 1 triad. So if I were to do that, here's what happens. I'll go through this slowly so that you can see exactly how I'm approaching these things. So here I approach the 4 chord from a semitone above. Now I can approach my 1 chord again from a semitone below. And then a semitone above again. Here a semitone above the 4. Semitone below the 4. Semitone below the 1. Above the 1. Now when I go to the 5 chord, maybe I can approach that from a semitone above. Now watch this. Check out this pattern because it's so beautiful. I'm going to approach the 5 chord from a semitone above, and then I'm going to go to the 4 chord from a semitone above. Listen to this, because this is real walking bass. So you can see that there are a couple of things that are happening here. One, by choosing this area of the neck, I really don't have to move my hand at all to get through the entire progression. It makes things very comfortable and easily accessible. The other thing is, I can choose, once I know where my target notes are, I can choose the best route, whether it is to approach my target from a semitone above or a semitone below. It is a very simple exercise, but it's really helping you to understand how to play these walking bass lines in a more comfortable way, and also in a way that allows you to change things up a little bit each time you play through the progression. So you're not playing the same things every single time. So now I'm going to change things up a little bit, because if I can approach each of these chords starting from the 3rd, well, I haven't done that from the 4 chord yet. Whenever I go to the 4 chord, in the previous examples, I was always approaching that 4 chord starting from the root. But the other 2 chords, I'm playing from the 3rd of the chord and playing the 3rd up to the 5th, up to the root. Well, I can do that with the 4 chord as well. Here's my F major triad. Here's the root, here's the 3rd, here's the 5th. But if I play 3rd to the 5th to the root using this triad, I'm just changing the order of the notes, which is also a beautiful melodic device. Here's my 3rd, here's my 5th, and I go down to the root here. So now I can use this 3rd as a target and approach that target from a semitone above or below. Listen to what that does to my line. So you can hear there how I've changed the line by using the third of the 4 chord as another target note. So I can approach that target note when I play the connector, starting with the connector on the 1 chord. And then when I approach that 7th fret of the D from a semitone below, semitone above, I get a beautiful little pattern that's very melodic and also very comfortable on the fretboard. This is why the connectors are so cool. It's a great way to come up with different patterns that you can use to play your walking bass lines. So friends and neighbors, I think I'm going to leave it there. I know it is a very simple idea to use these connectors, and they're really easy to learn and remember, but it also gives you a lot of food for thought when you think about how you're going to approach each of your targets. Because now you have two targets. You have the root of the chord and you have the third of the chord, and you can approach those targets from a semitone above or below. So play through the progression slowly using these ideas. And when you play through them slowly, think about where you finish one pattern and how you are going to approach the next pattern. It's either going to be from a semitone above or a semitone below. Have fun with this, y'all. And, listen, if you like this video, please do click like, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, hit that notification bell to let you know when more videos are coming out on this channel. And listen, just on a personal level, the world is in a bit of a crazy place right now. And, I've been lucky enough to travel all over Europe in the last few weeks, and I've met a lot of people. And it doesn't matter where I go. In every single country, there's somebody who comes up to me and says, hey, I subscribe to the channel. I'm one of your friends and one of your neighbors. So can you do me a favor? If you've made it this far in the video, just leave a comment. Let me know where you're from and just make this little comment. Love, your friends and neighbors. Thank you once again for visiting me here in the Brownstone. And I'll see you in the next video soon. Love, your friends and neighbors.